welcome to episode 409 of In Touch with iOS, the podcast that keeps you connected in the ever-changing Apple ecosystem. I am your host, Dave Ginsburg. Each week, we break down the latest news, updates, tips, and hidden features across iPhone, iPad, Apple Watch, Mac, Vision Pro, and Apple TV, all with insights from friends, experts, and the Apple community. Because here we read the release notes, so you don't have to. So, hey, it's great to be back this week. We got our great panel as always, and let's see who's here for this week. It's Jill McKinley is here. Thanks for being here. How are you doing?
Oh, I am so excited. It is Friday Eve. I've not been this happy to have Friday Eve in a while.
Yeah, I definitely think that as well. Marty Jencius, it's great to have you here. How are you doing, Marty?
I'm a little tired. I worked hard all day. You know, Apple is coming out with a bunch of new products, supposedly. We'll talk about that. And embezzling is really hard work. I think they earn every penny that they steal. And so I've got to get prepared for this. I might be in jail, but I'll have all new product.
All right. Nothing wrong with that. Also here is Chuck Joyner. How you doing, Chuck?
I'm doing good, Dave, and sort of on Marty's theme of stealing. Copilot stole from me today because it lied to me. It told me it could do something it can't do.
Oh, no.
So
how could that do it?
I know. So everything I've thought about Copilot and its parent company is absolutely true.
Well, but not as bad as Microsoft.
Thought Copilot was Microsoft.
No, that's Copilot. Did you say Copilot or did you say ChatGPT?
No, Copilot. No.
Oh, I thought you said ChatGPT.
No.
I gotta get the wax out of my ears here.
Yeah,
okay.
no.
Yes, that sometimes it's bad, sometimes it's good, but leaning towards more bad. Anyway, Guy Serle is here. How you doing, Guy? Great to have you here.
Thank you. I am doing just wonderful. Thanks for having me on. And Chuck, I always use Chat Pilot.
As opposed to Gem Pilot? Or Claude Pilot?
CoGem. Yeah.
Guy GPT.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's that too.
Oh, that's terrifying. My God.
It's very terrifying.
No, here's the thing. I am just filled with artificial intelligence.
Oh my gosh. All right. Eric Bolden is here. How you doing, Eric? Thanks for being here.
Good. It's a lovely day today. And, right as I got started here, it started pouring upstairs. So,
yeah,
perfect night.
It was raining. It was raining here quite a bit. Not so bad earlier, but this week, that's what you have to do when you got the weather going on here. So, but anyway, let's go on and hit some of the topics for this week. We have our normal things. Got some breaking news that just came out a little day or two ago, and Vision Pro, beta, and the Mac, and all kinds of fun stuff. But let's start off with the fact that Apple does announce not necessarily an event. It's an experience. That's what they called it. It's going to be a special experience, a special Apple experience in New York, London, and Shanghai that's taking place at on March 4th. It's at 9 a.m. Eastern time, which is, what is that? 8 a.m., 7 a.m. Pacific time, is it not? Let's see, 8, 9, 8. Yep, 7 a.m. Pacific time. So that's a bit early at the Apple headquarters, but it did invite select members of the media to the event in all 3 major cities around the world, and it's simply described as a special Apple experience. And there's no further information but what it entails. But there's been lots of speculation. You take a look at the logo with the Apple logo with all the different colors that may lead to the Apple announcing a MacBook, which is with the A18 processor. It's going to be the sub $600 Mac in a 12-inch screen potentially, and I think they're going to release the M5 Pro and Max. I think it's due. Maybe some iPads and many others. Chuck, what has been your thoughts so far of what you think the announcement's going to be in a couple weeks here?
Oh, Dave, I'm going to just wait and see. You know me.
Yeah.
I watch the rumors pass by, and some things make sense, some things don't make sense. Um, I think that one of the most intriguing things that doesn't apply to me is the whole rumor about colors for this low priced Mac.
Right.
Because I feel like that that may be targeting an audience that is it's not sitting in this chair. I won't speak for the rest of the panel, but
Mhm.
that might affect people the way that the colors of the iPhone have affected people. So maybe that would be a deciding factor if someone were going to buy a laptop and they could get it in their favorite color as opposed to just what we all think of as laptop colors.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
the iPad rumors and all the other rumors are just rumors until they land.
Right. Well, the other thing is you look at stock of MacBooks, MacBook Air, the M1 that Walmart had been selling for quite a while is completely sold out. They're not selling it anymore, so that kind of tells you maybe that could be a thing that could possibly happening. Because I would be surprised if Apple has them sell it. Very possibly. I saw how successful the M1 was when they got stock of that. So so there's so many other things of speculation that you could think of. Yeah, you're right. We really rumors aren't really a thing you really want to hit on, but it's hard to ignore. It really is. And then it is definitely something to think about. Brian here says, I have family members who sometimes select their electronic devices based on color options. Yes, I would probably agree with that statement. So I think it's going to be something exciting. And yes, thank you, Marty, for correcting us here. It is 6 a.m. Pacific time, so that's crazy. That's a really early morning for them. Marty, speaking of Marty, what's been your thoughts? I know you're if that MacBook does come out, I might be with you. I may want to buy it as an extra Mac as well because it's just so intriguing to see what it's going to do. You're muted, Marty.
I read an intriguing story today that said this is going to be sort of a rollout for the week, that the MacBook
Yeah.
Pros will come on Monday, the iPads will come on Tuesday, and then the MacBook Lights will be coming on Wednesday as part of the event
Yeah.
to kind
did that
of
before.
do the creator stuff with it. They'll have, live experiences in those 3 cities, and they'll roll out either video, maybe some stream of what's going on in those different cities, but, the product supposedly is going to be released that day, so it's not like, "Let's announce this and have it in roll out the 10 days from then on a Friday." So,
Mhm.
it's intriguing. The problem with that kind of rollout is, okay, MacBook Pro, M5 Pro on Monday, the money goes there. Damn, new iPad on Tuesday. And then, oh no, that's yeah, that's the problem with that kind of rollout for me.
It is. But they did that before. I mean, I remember
Yeah,
that one week it was all news. It was all news releases, I think it was, and they just announced that they had each day they had something come out, and then it went across the whole week. So maybe
yeah,
they'll do
and I
that
had to
again.
Uber for like 3 weeks in order to get that money back.
Oh yes, Guy, Eric, Jill, anything else you want to add on this?
Yeah. I don't think they're going to do that. I think it's all going to be rolled out on
Excuse me.
release day. And the main reason why I say that is because it is going to be a live event and they are doing it in
Mm.
3 separate locations. So, um, but I think if we're prognosticating here, I think
Mhm.
the iPhone 17e, excuse me,
Yep,
will
that one
be
too. Yep.
will be
Yeah.
released. The a new variation on an iPad. The M5 16-inch MacBook Pros of various flavors will get released. I don't know off the top of my head if they would if they're going to at the same time release an underpowered, well, sorry, I don't want to say it like that, a MacBook using iPad internals, that the processor and everything
Mhm.
else. So we'll see.
Eric, Jill?
I think that by the end of next week, Apple will be known for selling the least expensive new machines available.
Okay.
I was going to say, I like colors. I'm glad that Apple moved towards colors. I would never buy a machine based on the color, but I have not bought machines based on the fact that Apple used to be white. And white just looks dirty, and it just gets grimy looking. And I'm like, I am not buying a white computer. So, but because I came from the world of Windows, I've had blue computers and red computers. I've had them all. So I'm kind of excited to. And I bought the orange phone. So I mean, I'm into.
So did I. I love the orange. Does anyone have something else before I move on to the next article?
Well, I definitely would buy a computer based on color. I don't think the color I want will exist because I really want highlighter yellow, but I will take blue or gray. So I
I'm
think
looking
I've got a
forward
good
to
chance.
plaid.
Oh,
Plaid?
that would be good.
Right.
Well, I'm not going to stick stickers all over it anyway, so I don't totally care. But I
I
think
want
that with memory and storage prices just going through the roof, that this will be the one time where Apple can release products that no one can complain about what they're charging, because at least at the moment, it's going to be less.
Yeah.
I just wanted to ask Jill if any of those colored computers that she had, did they actually work?
Yeah, they worked. Not well, but they worked.
Okay.
Yeah, you take the crank and
I had to plead. I had to, fix the blue screen of death, but they worked.
Buy a new squirrel. Yeah.
Buy a new squirrel.
Yeah.
Should have bought the squirrel.
Wither Bucket says, "What a wild thing for Apple to be the cheapest home computer option." I don't know. I guess.
I could be wrong, but I'm still sticking with that.
Well, Eric, you sort of are. It's not next week, it's the week after. And I want transparent. That's the color I want.
Yeah. Well, here, the Wither Bucket says he had the colored translucent iMacs in middle school, so those were the hot thing back in those days.
Back in the day.
Yeah, those were the DVs, I think.
Yep. So, we're going to go into the Vision Pro, but I wanted to, this kind of leads into to this event, or whatever you want to call it. Could Apple demo immersive F1 on the Vision Pro in its event? This was actually John Gruber had suggested this, and could it be a demo of the immersive Formula One content on the Vision Pro? He suggests the timing appears to be what sparked the idea, because the 2026 F1 season kicks off in Australia on March 8th. That's only 4 days after this experience. Since Apple is the exclusive U.S. broadcast partner for Formula One since last October of 2025, the company's already been experiencing with live immersive videos that we've been talking about, like the Los Angeles Laker games. And here's another sport that they could jump into, and of course they won't have any details or anything about this, and they've been talking about all the speculation. So it really isn't something that we know other than a rumor. But what do you guys think? I think it's a very good possibility. I'm hoping that F1 becomes immersive, because, boy, that's really going to spark even more interest with F1, right?
I don't see how they could do it without having the secret leak out.
Mm-hmm.
Although I agree it would be really cool. I just don't think it's going to happen.
Yeah.
Yeah. For me, immersive would be, is the camera going to be on the car? And I don't see any of these guys approving putting another camera on their car for the purpose of, the audience in terms of it. I'm excited about if they do some other things around the track with kind of spatial video. That would be very cool. And that would fit more with what we're seeing with the Lakers game. Those guys aren't carrying around spatial cameras when they're playing basketball. So it'd just be interesting. I'm hoping. I'm hopeful.
It would be kind of neat.
Go ahead, Chuck.
I just I think that our old comment, follow the money. I think if the money's right, they might be willing to put a camera on. And it's gotten to the point now that a reasonably decent camera is so small that it could be put on without really affecting the aerodynamics. So I'm guardedly optimistic that somebody will find a way to stick one on if this were to come to pass.
And let's not forget, it's not up to the drivers anyway.
Right.
I have
It's
a
up to the
question
owners.
about this. Also, hi
yeah.
everyone.
And that's Jeff Gamet. He's joined us. I know he's running a little
My
behind.
nose
Thank
fell
you.
off, flew in one ear and out the other. The moment I saw you, I was so excited.
Yes, well, to
Thanks for
you,
being here,
sir,
Jeff.
I say jazz hands.
Yeah.
How
are you doing, Jeff?
I'm doing well, and thank you. And my question is, does Apple really want to have cameras on a car while people are watching in immersive video with the possibility of having a major crash and then people watching a major vehicle crash, flipping over, whatever, in a completely immersive environment?
Don't tease me like that, Jeff.
Okay,
yeah,
well,
really,
that
that's-
answers my question right
Ask
there. Put the
Netflix
cameras
that was
on.
doing a recording of a guy who was a hands rock climber and he fell to his death while
Oh
the
my God.
Netflix show was filming.
Yeah.
So maybe
Well,
it
look,
would happen.
this is
Did he have an
only
immersive camera on?
Yeah.
Sorry.
This is only partially in jest, but there is a healthy percentage of the audience that goes to these races to see the crash.
Yeah. NASCAR.
Yeah.
I mean, so there would be if we really are serious about this, it could be a bit macabre, but yeah, there are people that would want to have that experience, want to see it.
Okay,
Look
yeah,
at
that's
the
fair.
Olympics filming. It's been so fantastic with small little cameras and drones and everything else. But half of them are the people, that one dude who flew off the mountain backwards on skis and face planted essentially. And, people do watch those events to see, not to see, but as part of the thrill that could happen.
There's
Or
nothing like a
the
good
men's
tibia
speed
break.
skating where 3 guys went into the wall and one of them almost got a blade in the face.
Ouch.
That'll ruin your
This
day.
article actually just came out literally like not even 15 minutes ago, and it was in Gruber's daring fireball feed. F1 races are going to screen live in IMAX theaters in 2026 as it unveils a new viewing experience. It looks like select Formula One races will show in at least 50 U.S. theaters in 2026 as a collaboration with Apple TV's broadcast deal. So that's kind of cool. I'd be interesting to be watching that in IMAX and see how that collaborates.
Yeah, they ain't using 720p cameras for that one. That's
No,
what I
no.
think. I think we've kind of answered the first question.
Yeah, so Elgato will not be sponsoring it.
No. Yeah, right.
Put one of those blink cameras right there on a strap and
Yeah.
What could possibly go wrong?
Everything.
Yeah. So let's go ahead and move on from that and then talk about Vision Pro. Yes, there was a release of a beta, and we were going to talk about beta with other Apple products in a moment. VisionOS 26.4 got released. It did have a pretty number of updates and features. It was including some of you can know the status of an asset pack by offlining local status. But it did have some known issues too. But what did you find, Eric, since you are now back on beta, since you've been avoiding it, and now you were excited about it? What was the feature that stood out for you in the Vision Pro, the beta?
So it's a little feature, but it was truly annoying that every time you rebooted and you had to type in your passcode, when you pressed a button and it was highlighted, all of the edges were cut off. And it just looked really, really bad.
Yeah.
That has been fixed. The buttons look gorgeous. You press a number, it presses, it and enters the number, and you don't get this weird distraction of who messed up. It's really, really nice. There was another feature I hit that, it's like change. The updates panel is now in a sub-menu under Apple account. So basically it just moved. And the only thing I can think of is maybe they're rearranging menus to make it easier to do voice control or something else with them eventually. But every time they move things in system preferences, it gets confusing for a while.
Yeah, it does.
But the
How about
buttons,
you, Marty?
I like the buttons. Oh, sorry.
Yeah,
my fault.
when Eric mentioned this about updates, I remember once I did the update for the operating system to the beta, I went searching for updates for the apps and had a hard time finding it. So that movement kind of affected my usual memory of where it is. I'm most excited about the foveated streaming. And although it's not necessarily functional right now, it is, it has a lot of, it's ready for developers to use and use the API to put it into their programming. And as Eric explained it on Vision Profiles, basically the device knows where you're looking and it makes that spot much clearer for you. It doesn't, and you don't care where you're not looking. So it means it reduces battery strain. It reduces a lot of functioning that could add strain to the system because it's only really paying attention to where you're looking. And I think that's a pretty cool innovation. And also they added on this for folks who have the M5 version, they have 8K streaming or the ability to look at some of the 8K streams that are in things like YouTube and things that are in the Vision tvOS or the TV app.
Yep.
So
it's some more exciting things to come here. But I don't think there's much else on Vision Pro that we can hit on this week. So it's definitely. I think Vision Pro is continuing to evolve, continuing to get some great things, and this looks like we're in a great direction with this latest version of beta. We actually could say that they announced this. So let's go ahead and talk about beta this week. Well, iOS 26.1, the 26.4 beta 1 was released this week, and there was a pretty good amount of stuff that was actually released here. Let me bring this up here, and including the playlist playground, where you can actually there's a new playground feature that lets you create a playlist with text-based prompts, and in the Apple Music app, there is also an option to type in an idea and get an automatic song suggestions for a playlist, which is kind of cool. And it even has a new feature called Concerts Near You, which it helps you find shows in your area. That's kind of cool. And Apple Podcasts app was a big thing I wanted to mention real quick here, is the fact that it does have video capabilities. I did try that, and it is really cool. In fact, I used Mac Voices as a way to test it to see what happened, and sure enough, the video play came up and it played. Looked great. You turn it in landscape mode, goes full screen right within the Apple Podcasts app. So I think there's some promising features there, because since Chuck, you have a video feed as well as an audio feed, people use that video feed. It really looked great. I don't think you've been able to see that yet, right, Chuck?
I have not played with it, no, because I don't have the beta.
You don't have the beta, yeah.
But that's good to know, Dave, because there's always this question over the video aspect of things. Do you just leave it embedded on something like YouTube or wherever, or do you try to actually distribute out a video file? Which it's audio files are one thing, video files, even compressed, are another, and so sometimes they represent a certain amount of compromise on video quality, but you got to figure that you're probably sending them to a phone, at best an iPad, as opposed to a full screen. So we'll see. I mean, now, darn you, now you've given me a reason maybe I have to install a beta.
Find a one that supports it, and that's not your primary one. You check it out. The other cool thing you're going to like too is the fact that even though I was in your feed for video, I was playing the feed, and I decided, I just want to listen to the audio. There's a button, just tap it, it'll switch to audio. You don't even have to go out or do anything.
Hmm.
So it stops playing. It doesn't play the video anymore, but the audio continues. So if you wanted to switch it to audio, and like if you're going into the car and you don't want to be showing video on your screen, you can easily toggle between it. So go between audio and video. So this was
Can you watch video podcasts through CarPlay?
No, you can't. Of course,
think so.
not
Yet.
Yeah,
Yeah.
not yet anyway.
No, it's
But we'll talk about that because there
Yeah,
is
okay.
there is going to be a feature that you can, but there's restrictions. But other thing kind of bothers me a little bit is that stolen device protection feature that was released out. I think iOS 18, I believe, or was it iOS 17? I think 18. And now it's going to be enabled by default for all users, which I don't know if I like that because some people may not want that turned on. And now if it is turned on and you don't realize it, and then you have to go through all those authentications through Face ID and Touch ID to access certain features, especially like the Passwords app, then that's going to be there. I don't disagree with what stolen device protection does, but I think it's something that we as a user should be able to control and not be forced to turn it on and then have to go and turn it off. So we'll see where that goes because right now we're in beta 1. They may get some feedback and pushback, and maybe they'll switch back. Who knows? Does anybody agree with me on that? Because I think I don't turn stolen device protection on. I should, but I don't really do. Do any of you keep that turned on?
Absolutely
yeah.
have it on.
From the time that you update your OS and that feature becomes available, essentially they should ask you, do you want it on or do you want it off? And so
It should be
it's not about being, a default, whether it's on or off. It's like, okay, well, we're updating the operating system and one of the new features is ABC. Do you want this? Do you want this? Do you want this? And you basically tell the OS, well, I don't want that, but I do want this. And, let it be your preferences and not the defaults.
Yeah.
Well, how many average
go ahead, Jeff.
users are going to get overwhelmed with options? Do you want this on? Do you want this off? And then just get frustrated.
My friend bricked his iPhone because he unplugged it during firmware update. And so I had to bring it back to starting a point again. And I watched him set up his phone and it was like, well, do you want Siri? And he's like, I don't have time for you. Skip.
Yeah, just skip everything.
And then nothing works.
Everything.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
Jill, I think what you experienced is probably more common than we would like to think.
I think so too.
I think this is one of those cases where it's probably better off having it on, kind of like having encryption on by default, because when you find you need it, you can't turn it on at that point. And you'll discover it when all of a sudden you don't have your device and say, oh, I wish I had, and it's an expensive lesson. So the risk is high enough. And for people who know they don't want it, you can turn it back off. At worst case, if you're not at home, it's a 1 hour delay. If you're at home, you can turn it off right away. And most people, when they're setting up their phone, it's either in the Apple Store or at home or at work. But those are all known locations.
Yeah. Anything else on this? Real quick, I'm not going to go through every single feature. There's a ton of features that was released in 26.4. I could probably do a whole show on it, but a couple more. I'm going to be of notable. Freeform, the Creative Studio that is now live in 26.4, which will allow Creative Studio subscribers to access the new Freeform features. Creative Studio is a Freeform that adds a dedicated content hub that houses all those Freeform shape options. So that's going to be on there as well. Reminders is now adding a urgent section, so you can have reminders that have urgent toggled on during creation will then show up there. So it'll accompany with an alarm to get a clear warning that this reminder is due. You can get that more granularly set here. In iCloud, the iCloud section of the settings app there's now going to be an iCloud.com option. If you scroll all the way to the bottom of the interface, it'll replace the simple access iCloud data on the web toggle that was previously unavailable. The other one more thing I'll talk about is CarPlay. Like you just said earlier, Marty, they are going to add support for AI including Claude, Gemini, and ChatGPT. It'll be accessible through the CarPlay system for the very first time. This integration is going to allow CarPlay users to access voice-based apps like ChatGPT to ask questions hands-free, but the apps will not be able to control vehicle or iPhone functions. So there also won't be a wake word or active to a third-party app. So users will still need to open the app in order to use the chatbot. After the app's launched, the customizable voice control screen will then give users a vehicle-optimized chatbot experience. So they may even do it. There's potentials there. There might be mentions for Apple TV support for CarPlay. That was one big thing that indicates that Apple will eventually allow users to watch Apple TV content through their car's dashboard when the vehicle is not in motion. That's important to know because they know that you should not be watching video content while you're driving. So a lot of people have been trying to ask for that stuff, and it's definitely some cool things here. Two more things I'm going to hit here really quickly is the change in hotspot data. Hotspot data was always in a bad place. You always just turn it on, turn it off. You didn't know what it was doing. Well, now what they've done is they've moved the location of the hotspot data usage rather than having the data usage message tucked away in cellular. It's now you're actually now going to see how much data that was used right in the personal hotspot section. So it's going to be right there. You don't have to go digging for it. Yeah, so that was really great. It also shows data usage and it breaks it down by all your devices. Like let me put this here so you can see it. In this example, it shows in the data usage, it's showing whatever Mac that you had used with it. If it's yours, it'll tell you how much data was used by that particular device. So which is kind of nice. So then you know what you've done and you manage accordingly. Most of us who have hotspot plans, I do have a T-Mobile, but I don't pay for an unlimited plan because it's expensive. I think I get like 10 gigs or something like that, or 20, I think 10 or 20 gigs, which is pretty fair, honestly. That's definitely a nice thing to have here too. And then also in the Shortcuts app, they did add a new feature in the Shortcuts app that you can set a battery charge limit for the iPhone. So what it does is it brings up a shortcut and says sets the battery charge limit of the device. And you can set the percentage and be able to go in there as well. I could go on and on. There's some more, but we'll definitely hit on more things as we discover them when it comes to beta. Anybody had experiences? Marty, have you been playing around with it much? Did anything that stood out for you?
Yeah, I do like the adjustments to reminders in terms of you now have an urgent setting in reminders because I will forget about reminders, which makes it kind of useless for me. But being able to have an urgent option means I can, when things I absolutely have to get done, it'll come up and let me know that. So,
yes. Anybody else that had comments?
They added an option to to add the O2 levels in the vitals section with newer watches, and I hadn't realized I lost that between my old watch and the one I just got until it stopped showing up. So it'll be nice to get that back.
Makes me want to turn beta back on my primary phone.
Yeah, there's a lot. There's a lot.
Do it. Don't do it.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
There's always a chance that you'll be very sorry.
One other thing that was interesting is you actually have a news on tvOS 26.4. They removed the iPhone movies and iPhone TV shows apps that listed content available for purchase. Buying movies and TV shows can be done through the Apple TV app instead. Apple's been phasing this out for quite some time, and I think they phased the movies and TV shows app back in 2023, and then they redirected everybody to the Apple TV app. I was surprised these apps were still there, honestly.
Same.
I always tuck those into a other folder so I don't have to look at them, honestly.
Yeah, I think that's what everyone does.
Yeah.
So they haven't actually worked for a couple years now.
Yeah. I mean, I have Apple Music, I have Apple TV. What am I need to buy anything for at this point?
Well, and you can't because when you select those apps, it redirects you to the TV app.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. So So there's a bunch of highlights. There's a lot to talk about just in beta this week because usually it's not a lot here. So let's hit Mac real quick here and see some of those things that was released in Tahoe, or as you call it, Jeff, Big Lake. It was released to developers. There wasn't anything really notable in Mac OS. So as far as that goes, I just installed it on my work machine, started to play with it. Which is kind of cool. I get to actually try it in the work environment instead of just playing it in a playground. So we want to test it right away and be ready when it does come out. So there's that. The other big topic that came out was the fact that the display warnings of apps that won't work after Rosetta 2 support ends. This was kind of a big story because there's still a lot of people out there that are still using Rosetta-based or Intel-based Macs, and they're planning to phase out the Intel Macs will be gone after this final transition to Apple Silicon. So we got to wonder where the Mac Pro is going to go. But now with 26.4, users who are who launch an app that uses Rosetta 2 will get a pop-up telling them to know that the app will no longer be supported when Rosetta 2 ends. And they are gonna continue to support older unmaintained gaming titles with Rosetta with software running Intel binaries and Linux VMs beyond macOS 27, but that could be no more futures fixes here. Are we surprised here? I mean, Rosetta's been kind of gone for a bit of time, has it not?
I don't think this is any surprise. I mean, you knew it had to be coming because if I'm correct, they not long ago at all announced that they're dropping support for the Intel machines. So,
Tahoe's the end of the line.
Yeah, so that just kind of says, okay, they recognize there's going to be a bit of a tail while some of those machines can still be in use. But yeah, if from a business standpoint, they want to push you to Apple Silicon, and that's fine. And if you really have the need for that stuff, then freeze a machine. Buy an old machine, freeze it, put what you need on there, and then that's it. I mean, I have a couple. I'm a little trepidatious about a couple apps that I use, and I just haven't had a chance to check them out. But if they stop working, it's going to be my fault because there's plenty of notice.
There is.
Yeah, and Apple Silicon has been out for 5 years now. So, what's the holdup? You can pick up a used M1 or M2 machine for like nothing.
Well, the problem is critical apps that you rely on that you may not realize that you're relying on, or that you may not realize still require Rosetta. What happens for that stuff?
Goes away.
Yeah, but what if it's critical? I mean, now you can't update because
find a replacement.
What if there is no replacement?
You're hosed.
I know people who have
or you can't update
music software that there is no replacement.
Yeah. This might sound unkind, but it's sort of things move on. And maybe your workflow needs to move on too into something different that does what it needs to do. Or what you're doing with the software that you're doing really is not functional or competitive in a world where everybody else is sitting on newer computers. I don't, again, it sounds very unkind for me to say that, but I still have apparently some things on my machine that run Intel. And I'll have to make adjustments if I even use those apps anymore. So,
yeah.
Well, I absolutely appreciate what you're saying, and you're right, but at the same time, you're not, because there are in certain fields very specific pieces of software that perform very specific tasks that you might be able to have a newer machine, but now you won't be able to have a newer operating system because it requires an Intel compatible app. And so a good example of this, if you look at what's going on in graphic design, printing, and publishing, there are specific output devices that do their thing incredibly well, but the developer never made new software. And you can't replace that thing because no one else makes that thing. And so now you're stuck.
Yeah, I that's on the developer. For me, it's like
absolutely.
if I get a relationship with a piece of software and that is not advanced and updated, that's on the developer. It's on the choice of who I decided to to connect with to do this work. And I don't think it should be on Apple.
I agree. And just to
And
be
I'm
clear,
wrong.
I'm not bagging on Apple for this problem.
Yeah.
It's absolutely a developer issue. But
Yeah.
ultimately, it becomes an us issue as the end user because the developer either just didn't get around to it or decided it wasn't worth it. And so at what point does that become a problem for them where someone else is like, this is now an opportunity for me, and I'm willing to make the investment to take these clients from this other developer.
Yeah.
I'm kind of two sides of it. I have my friend's father who composes his own music, and he has to stay on Lion or something like that. I don't even know how far back that is.
Oh my gosh.
Because
that's a long way back.
Yeah, because he can't
Based on
update because that software
Yeah.
only works
Yeah.
then. And there's nothing, he says. I said, really? There's nothing? And he's like, no. I mean, he
Well,
said it would cost
depending
me
on what you're
tens of
doing.
thousands of dollars.
Yeah,
But on the other side,
that's a thing.
Windows allows things to run forever. I have a screensaver sky map that runs on my current Windows machine that I had on my 8086. It still runs, but it also
Wow.
makes it insecure. It's how bugs and hackers and, happen because you're running some software that worked on an 8086. So, or 8088,
Yeah.
sorry.
Buy that guy a new cheap MacBook and put the Creator Studio with Logic on it.
Yeah.
No, it's a piano composing, like instruments, and that's not the same kind of thing. But anyway, I offered him my Mac M1 Mini, and he's like, it's useless to me because it doesn't run that software.
So he doesn't want to update the software, even though there may be applications that will also do the same things that his old software does. He's just not willing. Well, it sounds like I keep cutting out.
Yeah.
So, at some point, let him just say, look, just try it. And I mean, I don't know. It's hard to say because we don't know what software it is that he's using that he's claiming can't be done. But even GarageBand has some composition elements in it.
Yeah.
Hey, Jill, I'm actually genuinely curious of what he's running because
I'll find out.
I've had to deal with a lot of the music creation apps over the years, and I'm curious which one it is.
Okay, I'll find out. But he's like a professional, but he's also retired and on a retired income, and he is not going to spend $10,000 on it. So either he gives up his hobby or he spends $10,000 to maybe buy something else that's professional.
And if
I
you're
don't know.
spending $10,000 for something like that, it's not a hobby,
Right?
Yeah. Anyway, let's move on from this if we could. I'm going to hit a couple more topics, and then we've got kind of a special thing that Jeff's going to bring to us here in a couple of minutes here. Two other topics I want to hit real quick is it looks like Android to iPhone AirDrop transfers is now getting supported even further into the older models. It's now being supported by the Pixel 9. I have the Pixel 10 XL that has worked. I talked about that a number of weeks ago when that first got released. You now can transfer files to an iPhone using the AirDrop protocol. AirDrop support is for Quick Share is coming to the Pixel 9, the 9 Pro, and the 9 Pro XL, and the 9 Pro Fold over the next few days. That was announced this week. And it was back in November, actually, when this was announced for just the 10. So you can accept the files from a Pixel smartphone, and Apple device users need to change their AirDrop visibility to everyone for 10 minutes. So you can't just single it out like context like we do between iPhone to iPhone. So you do have to turn it on for a short period of time as an everyone approach here. So for those who are moving off of Android and have the Pixel 9, that's great news, I think. And the other thing I want to hit real quick is hell really going to freeze over here? Because Tesla's CarPlay plans delayed by Apple Maps compatibility issue. So maybe it isn't never going to happen. Tesla is still planning to bring Apple's CarPlay to its vehicles, but a compatibility issue between Apple Maps and Tesla's own navigation software has held things up. Of course, the Germinator came up with this on his Power On newsletter this past week in relation to this. Tesla has asked Apple to make an engineering change to solve the problem, and Apple reportedly agreed to ship a fix with the iOS 26 update, so maybe 26.4 has it. So will we see CarPlay on a Tesla? I think it's probably it's smart move on both sides part, because there's a lot of Tesla vehicles out there, and a lot of people are resistant to buy Teslas because it doesn't have CarPlay. I think there's a high number, just like we are when we rent a car. I can't drive a car without CarPlay.
There's lots of reasons not to buy a Tesla that has nothing to do with CarPlay.
Believe me, I know. Yes, yes. So we'll leave it at that. But I want to move on to this great topic that Jeff brought us this week. You did talk to the folks from Omni Group, right? And
I did.
And you have you have a road plan here for OmniGraffle and OmniFocus. Why don't you tell us what's exciting about in the world of Omni Group?
All right. So the very quick backstory is every year they do a blog post that talks about their roadmap. And so I've read it because I read it every year. I'm a huge Omni Group fan. So I read it and I had questions. So I reached out and Ken and I ended up having a really great discussion about what they're doing. So I'll give you some highlights of what's going on, and I'll look at it more from the iOS and iPadOS side, because that's what's more appropriate here. Okay, so Apple Foundation model. So the whole AI integration, you can make your apps do other things for you through Apple Foundation model. That's a thing. And since Omni Group is now they've been transitioning into making all of their apps universal, in the sense that you have the same app doing the same thing with the same features across your Mac, your iPad, and your iPhone. So you're going to get that support in OmniGraffle and OmniFocus this year. And the example that makes this really powerful for me was when Omni Outliner came out, the new version, and they were showing me how you could make an outline where the entire thing is built through Apple Foundation model, where you have Apple Intelligence go out and gather information for you. Like, let's say you need all the statistics on bird migration through New England or something like that, or through the Chicago area. So it gathers all of this information and then compiles it into an outline for you, an Omni Outliner file. Okay, so now imagine being able to do the same sort of thing, but with a Graffle file. And a Graffle file, it's objects, and it looks sort of like a mind map sort of thing when you're looking at the graphic. But for those of us that use OmniGraffle, it's like everything that they add new, it's like, oh, I need this. So imagine being able to say, I need to figure out the whole process for how I get from my old iPhone with CarPlay to my new iPhone with CarPlay, and how all of that flows from thing to thing. Okay, so, and I'm totally making this idea up off the top of my head, but now it sounds kind of cool. So let the foundation model tools go and find all the information and build a flowchart for you. And I'm just finding what they're doing just really compelling. OmniLinks, which we got in Omni Outliner already. So we'll get that in OmniGraffle, and OmniFocus. So what that does for everyone that's not up to speed on that, and how can you not be? Because holy crap, it's so useful. Okay, so imagine having a document where you have links in it. And the links can be to other parts of the same document. They can be to other documents. They can be to specific places in other documents. They can be out to internet locations, whatever. And so you can have all of this stuff interlinked in a document. And so as an example, let's say I have an Omni Outliner file and an Omni Graphel file. And when I click on an Omni link in my outliner, it takes me to this other document, this Graphel file, to a specific part of that Graphel, so I can see how everything interrelates to whatever's in that document. Or I need to have another document that's actually unrelated in file format that I'm referencing. And I need to keep track of that in my outline or my Graphel or whatever. And it's on a server somewhere. Okay, fine. OmniLinks will let me link out to that so that I know where that file is. So now we're going to have this across all of our major apps, and it's going to let us have a much better interaction between all of the data that we're using in these apps. And this is stuff you're going to be doing on your iPhone and your iPad. Let's see what else is like super important. Oh, OmniFocus is getting a Kanban view.
Ooh.
And yeah, Jill, you get my excitement on that.
Yeah.
So right now, when I'm doing Kanban project tracking, I'm just using Trello for that. But depending on what I need to accomplish with whatever I'm tracking with tasks in OmniFocus, I may be able to replace Trello and have it all in one location. And the idea that I could have like a client project I'm working on where I have specific steps that I need to follow, and there's going to be documents linked. Being able to have all of that with Omni links linking out to the actual client files in one place, and have a quick Kanban view of the various steps in the progress or project just right there in a single app. That sounds really compelling to me. This is not going to replace OmniPlan, because that is, you still can't do conditional tasks in OmniFocus, which makes sense because that's an OmniPlan thing. So yeah, that's one of the other big things that's in there. Also, app intents across the board. And okay, here's one last thing for you. What Ken told me is that they start on the Mac with each of their product developments, because that's the most capable platform Apple has, the most versatile platform Apple has. And so you need to start there. And then once you've got your product nailed down, then you take it to the iPad and iPhone and figure out what interface changes you need to make so it works appropriately on those devices. The reason they're doing that is so that they don't hobble their products. And this is a thing that I wish other app developers would do, and I know some do, but just in general, I think this is a best practice, because the idea of writing for the iPad and then clicking the thing, now it runs on the Mac, that's easy and it's fast, and it's great that that's there, but you're writing for the iPad. You're not taking advantage of what the Mac is. So start on the Mac and then work down the line and make your interface adjustments and stuff as you're working down the line. I love how they're doing that. That's my super fast overview of the discussion we had, and I'm willing to take questions.
Yeah, I'm going to throw out there. Just are you utilizing it more on your iPad, or is it you doing more Mac?
It depends. So when I'm at my Mac, I'm definitely using these tools on my Mac. But the fact that I can just pick up my iPad anywhere and continue on with exactly what I'm doing, yeah, I do that a lot. And an Omni outliner, I use that on my iPhone a lot because I will have something, an outline that I've created somewhere else probably. I guess I could start it on my iPhone. Just for whatever reason, that typically doesn't happen. But I might need to make changes, check something off, add something, and my iPhone is with me all the time. So yeah, I use Omni outliner on my phone and OmniFocus on my phone all the time. And yeah. So I guess what I'm saying is I use these apps across the board everywhere because I can just pick up a device and it works. And it does exactly what I expect on any of the devices. It just depends on which screen is in front of me at that moment.
Got it. Anybody else have anything about anybody else? I know you said you use OmniFocus and you use it mostly on the Mac, I assume.
Yeah, it's mostly on the Mac, and I think is it available on the Vision Pro? I'm not sure.
Yes. They fully support Vision Pro with their apps.
Yeah, and sometimes it feels like it's a little too much. I'm excited about the Kanban because my problem is with the list view of all the tasks that I have to do, it doesn't connect with my head in terms of what has to be done now, then whatever.
Yeah.
So I kind of need that design for me to work well with OmniFocus. I also do Omni Outliner. Don't have a lot of use for OmniGraffle.
That's
And
only because you and I haven't played with it together yet.
the idea of playing together with you sounds like fun.
We're going to have a great time. Hey, Marty, I will give you a use case that you probably hadn't thought about. Just guy. If you need to add like vector graphics to anything you're working on, and they're not like sophisticated, excuse me, like some very detailed thing you'd make with Adobe Illustrator. OmniGraffle is my go-to vector app. I do so many vector graphics in OmniGraffle, and then I can copy and paste those vector elements into whatever other graphics program I'm working with.
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now on my other screen in terms of its functionality, and I can see what you're talking about.
Yeah. Here's a big throwback for me. So when I wrote my book, Designer's Guide to macOS 10, years and years ago, it was written specifically for Tiger. I made all the graphics for the book, and I needed to have call-outs. And so it was like arrows and circles and squircles and stuff. I made an OmniGraffle file that had all of those shapes in it. So that was probably OmniGraffle 1, I'm guessing. Might have been 2, but it was probably 1. I still have that file to this day, and I still use it all the time.
That's cool.
You could still buy your book too.
And you really?
$13.93.
Wow.
You have a book?
Used.
Oh man, I got to get an autograph or a copy of that, and then put it up on my shelf and never use it.
When I just like everyone else, right? Just like me. No, when I moved, I found it was like 10 copies of the book. And I'm like, oh crap. Just more stuff to move. So I recycled the books. Had I known that there are people out there that would be like, oh, I'd like to have a copy, I would have been happy to just.
Well, hell, I will buy one of your recycled books. Probably.
Yeah, well, you probably. I know where you can. Well, actually, it's probably shredded by now, but
I can. I put the link in the. I put the link in YouTube and our Zoom chat here. So,
okay, what would be really funny, if it suddenly shot up on bestsellers on Amazon. I mean, when it came out, it popped up on the lists for a little while, which was really cool and a lot of fun, and then dropped off, which is exactly what I expect with a title like that. But it would be really funny if Designer's Guide to Mac OS X for Tiger suddenly shot back up on bestsellers.
Oh, for sure. If you buy like a 9-pack of Charmin, there might be some in that as well.
Oh, and Guy, you're muted.
All right.
Just missed your words of wisdom.
All right.
You didn't miss much.
Time to move on
Oh
here.
no,
Let's.
it's me. I've lost my audio.
You can't hear us. Well, while you're working out your audio, we're going to go ahead and move on to some of the news stories before we wrap up here. Toyota is rolling out a Apple Wallet car keys with the iPhone. Toyota in 2020 had added a digital car key feature to its wallet app, allowing users to lock, unlock, and start a compatible vehicle with an iPhone or Apple Watch. The feature was currently offered by select automakers like Audi, BMW, Hyundai, and Kia, and Genesis, and Mercedes-Benz, and Volvo, and Toyota is now rolling it out for support as well. It'll select trims of the 2026 RAV4 and the Apple Wallet car key feature in the U.S. at a minimum. We'll be able to when it's rolling out, but it's going to be coming out soon. So this is kind of cool. See more list of vehicles that they have that they're supporting iPhone car keys. I would like to use this, but it's not available for my car. Does anybody think about this? I think could it continue to expand?
I know that Mazda, if it's not already enabled in your car, Mazda will let you add it to your car for a subscription fee, naturally.
Mm-hmm.
So thus far, I have resisted the temptation.
Yeah.
I think this is just a logical thing. I mean, our phones do so many things for us now. If I'm not mistaken, you can buy smart locks for your home that will unlock with your iPhone, even from a proximity standpoint, if nothing else. And so I feel like this just whether it's your iPhone or a Google phone or the other, an Android phone, it just feels like a logical progression that, we're not keeping our credit cards, or as many anyway, in our hip pockets anymore. We're putting them on our phone. So why not our car keys or house keys or any other keys?
Yep. All right. Let's move on to this story. This was a really kind of a scary emergency that occurred in Lake Tahoe, of all places. What happened was 6 skiers who survived the avalanche that was near Lake Tahoe this past Tuesday this week as we record used the emergency SOS via satellite feature on the iPhone to get help. This was reported from the New York Times. Emergency SOS via satellite to let iPhone users communicate with emergency responders and via text when a cellular or Wi-Fi connection was not available. The skiers were able to stay connected to the Nevada County Sheriff's Office for several hours while rescue efforts were coordinated. One of my personnel was communicating with one of the guides over a 4-hour period, giving information back to the Nevada Sheriff's Office, and this was pretty amazing. So as we know, the emergency SOS via satellite is available on an iPhone 14 or later, as well as the Apple Watch Ultra 3, and they offer it functionality for free. And I've heard so many of these stories that this has been a good story. I know some of the skiers were trapped; they couldn't get out for days, and they were surviving. I think a couple people may have even gotten killed for this because it was just a really bad avalanche. They couldn't outrun it. So, but that's great to hear that emergency SOS continues to be a great thing to have. Anybody have any comments?
And it's free.
And it's free. Yeah.
So I bought the Ultra.
Yeah, you got the Ultra 3, right?
Yeah, for that reason right there.
Yep.
I have a prediction for iPhone SOS. Also, sorry about my audio problems a few minutes ago. It's fixed.
That's okay.
It's all macOS Big Lake problem. Anyhow, so when Apple rolled out emergency SOS and they said it's free for X amount of time, but then it just continued to be free. my expectation is that the goodwill, the good publicity Apple gets from this just being a thing, they are not going to do a subscription to use Emergency SOS ever.
Okay.
This is their version of the Costco hot dog. They will never raise the price of the Costco hot dog
I think I have a
because it
show
is
title.
such a good thing. It's great for customers. Apple's not going to ever charge for Emergency SOS.
I would agree with that.
Yeah,
I
I
would
agree.
compare it to a chicken bake, but that's just me.
Well, every
Yeah.
time one of these things happens, every time something bad happens, it's almost going to automatically generate good publicity for Apple.
Yeah.
And and that's not the reason to do it, but that's the result of it. So it kind of serves both purposes.
Well,
And it
and
makes
let's remember as well that it's not like people are using it every day for hours at a time. It's just these quick emergency, that just happen randomly. And so it's not really costing them much of anything.
And to my knowledge, there's not a competing product that can get this kind of press. So it's like, hey, I mean, Apple's not opportunistic and not ambulance chasing on this thing, but it's sort of like, this is something our product can do. Now go find it somewhere else. You won't find it. This is why you want this product.
No, they have Garmin's, that will do that, but the subscription price is high. And I'm just a hiker. I'm not going to buy a Garmin device and put the subscription on it because I'm just going out for a hike. But you don't know when you're going to have a problem. Those skiers in Tahoe never imagined this, so they never would have bought a Garmin, got a subscription. They just have it by, having the product, and that, you're right, is gold right there. So it's
Mm-hmm.
Yep. All right. Let's go on to the next story here. Apple TV sports content includes F1, MLS, and Friday Night Baseball. It's going to be coming to bars and restaurants. Apple inked a deal with Everpass Media to bring Apple TV sports content to Everpass customers in the United States. Everpass is a company that bundles premium sports content for restaurants, hotels, casinos, sports bars, and other businesses that want to air sporting events. So coming on the heels of F1, they're going to be able to be doing this in all these locations. So they will offer Formula One, MLS, Major League Baseball content to its customers at no additional cost through that Everpass core content package. That also includes Paramount Plus's UEF Champions League, Prime Video's Thursday Night Football, NBA, WNBA, and more. Deal includes all access coverage to every F1 Grand Prix, including practice, qualifiers, and such. And then Apple TV sports content will also be available through Everpass alongside NFL Sunday Ticket, Peacock Sports Pass, and Prime Video sports content. So more and more content now going out even further for Apple, and with the great content they have. F1 I think is going to be a big thing for them this year. Do you guys have any thoughts on this?
I'll have to go to more sports bars.
Mission accomplished.
Mission accomplished.
Yeah, this feels. I mean, I hope that the American public embraces this for every reason that you can think of. But and just because the movie opened up my eyes to a whole new aspect of watching races like this. So I feel like the opportunity is there since the movie was so popular. I hope that the real live thing lives even up to close to it. But yeah, I'll be visiting a local establishment to at least check it out.
Yeah. Yep, definitely. So, and one last story, which was also sports related. MLS, as you know, you were paying for it. Well, the subscription is now free. It's included with your Apple TV subscription instead of having to pay for it separately. It's set to begin on Saturday, February 21st, which is actually this weekend as we're recording. With games set to be available through the Apple TV subscription service. With subscribers in more than 100 countries can access the MLS matches with no blackouts and no additional fees. They used to charge $14.99 a month additional or $99 $10 a year for the pass, but it was removed for the 2026 season to give all Apple TV subscribers access for free. MLS is aiming to expand its fan base and make the content easier to be accessed through its partnership with Apple. Apple says that the MLS on the Apple TV will include Walmart Saturday Showdown, which spotlights featured matchups during the Saturday slate of matchups throughout the season. It will include enhanced productions and help viewers feel more connected to the match. All 30 MLS teams will take the pitch on the 21st and 22nd for that weekend, and then 13 of the 15 season opens are scheduled for Saturday. So it's going to be a big thing for soccer fans. I'm not a huge soccer fan. I watched it once in a while, but I'm excited for this. And again, Apple continues to expand their sports. Anybody have anything on this?
Yeah, and NFL should take note. They won't, but they should.
The NFL? Yeah.
Yeah, I paid for MLS with the dream that I would get into soccer and have plenty of free time to watch it. And I watched it, I watched a bunch of games on it. I am so grateful that they are just building this directly into Apple TV. It almost feels like Apple's taken some of its investment and put it into product for the people who are subscribers, the people who are using Apple devices. And it's kind of nice when you hear they made $300 gazillion last year. And they can afford to pretty much put MLS out for free. So
Anybody else?
I'm happy for sports people. Like I said, it's too impossible to be a sports fan right now, and they're making it better.
Yeah,
well, just look at how excited Jeff is.
It's those costumes they're wearing.
I know.
Yeah, it's guys running around in little short shorts, Jeff. You should really like that.
You would think. But, it's overshadowed by the minutia of the administrative process of a game. It's like watching a boardroom meeting with costumes.
5 years ago, I had insomnia, and I solved it, so I would have been more interested in it 5 years ago, but today I'm good. So.
Ouch. Wow. Okay.
I had to sit on benches all weekend long and evenings watching my son play soccer. So it was kind of forced engagement at that point. So I had to learn about it, and then I developed an appreciation because the younger generation was playing that all the time. They still do.
At least it wasn't
why
baseball,
they play
Marty.
it with kids.
Oh, I did baseball for one season.
It tires them out running up down the field, so then they go home and go to bed.
Yeah, that's the best part.
I like that. Didn't think about that, Jill. That's good.
Joe.
Yeah, a little Benadryl will do that too.
They build up stamina, and then they can stay up all night long. I am happy that Apple is doing this, because the more they can increase the audience, I think the better off everybody is. They need to get to the point where they can put immersive cameras in all of the stadiums and broadcast immersive like basketball. That's what I'm waiting for. I want cameras on the net, cameras on the side, and cameras for players coming on to the pitch and going off again. It'll get here.
Absolutely. All right. Well, I think we've come to a close for a great episode this week. Let's go ahead and find out where people can find you. I'm going to reverse the order here, and let's see where Jeff Gamet is. Thanks for being here, Jeff. Glad you were able to make it. Where can people find you?
Well, thanks for letting me in. Sorry I was late.
That's okay.
So, on the social medias, you can find me as J Gamet. Everywhere, but I'm most active on Mastodon and PixelFed and Blue Sky. And then for shows, Chuck's Mac Voices Live on Tuesdays, here with you for In Touch with iOS on Thursdays, on the British Tech Network, The Big Show and The Mac Show, The Context Machine with Brian Chaffin, which is why I'm late. We were finishing recording. And then Patrice Brendamore and I do Retro Rewatch.
Thank you. And here's your mug for Retro Rewatch.
Everything tastes better in a Retro Rewatch mug.
It does. All right. And Eric Bolden, thank you for being here. Where can people find you? Almost. Go ahead.
I can be found on Mastodon at EA Bolden at mas.to. That's where I post all my bird pictures. Then at the beginning of the week, Vision Profiles, covering all the
I'm just
Vision.
giving it through a whole cross.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'll just do background while you switch things around. It'll work. Eventually, it'll. Mondays, Vision Profiles covering VisionOS. Oh wow, I'm here, and the bird too. Nice.
Tuesday, about a bird.
Retro Birdwatch.
Tuesday nights, Mac Voices live. And, of course, Thursdays In Touch with iOS, kind of covering all of the OSs throughout the week and news highlights as well.
Great. Thank you for being here. Guy Serle, thank you for being here this week. Where can people find you?
Well, thank you for having me. Of course, Mac Voices and In Touch with iOS on Tuesdays and Thursdays. But my main gig is the G-Man Show, which you can find through most podcast aggregators that I do with Gazmaz. You can contact us via our email, gmanshow@icloud.com. You can also contact us on Twaxter and Skies of Blue as Guy and Gaz, GYANDGAZ. And on both of those platforms, you can also contact me as either MacPettit or Bert Shark. Oh, and our Google Voice number, 703-828-4677. I just did the last G-Man show with Mike Potter, and we had a great discussion about the upcoming Mac stocks. So if you'd like to hear some from Mike about some of the stuff going on with Mac stock, and of course, not everything has been announced yet. You can watch G-Man Show 26.
All right, we'll check that out. Mike's going to be here not next week, the week after, to talk to us. Thank you for being here, Guy. And Chuck Joyner, thank you, as always, for being here. Where can people find you?
Hey, thanks for having me, Dave. As always. MacVoices.com. That's where you'll find everything we're doing. Finally published the last of the CES episodes this week. Did a wrap-up show with Norbert Frasa. And now we're playing a little catch-up with some of the Mac Voices live content that has been accumulating. And frankly, most of it, in fact, anything that's out of date, I don't put out. But a lot of great discussions there always. And if you want to do the live show when it's live, you can join us on Tuesday nights at 8 p.m., youtube.com/MacVoicesTV. And if you want to find me on social media, you can find me as at Chuck Joyner pretty much anywhere that I am to be found.
Great. Thanks, Chuck. Appreciate it. And Marty Jencius, thank you for being here as always. Where can people
Thanks.
find
you can find me doing a nickel to dime at the Ohio Men's Correctional Center.
Well deserved.
For embezzlement to purchase new Mac equipment. Other than that, at Jencius, Jencius, on Blue Sky, also on Mastodon.social. Monday nights with Vision Profiles with Eric and Dave at 9 p.m. Eastern Time live stream. Wednesdays with the Old Mac Gang. And Guy Serle made a guest appearance in our chat room just last night with that show. It was fun to have him there. And then all the other stuff, I've got Chuck on Mondays with Mac Voices. I've got Dave here on Thursday nights. Both shows, I'm grateful for being a part of it. And then on the Mac show with the British Tech Network on Friday mornings. Check out thepodtalk.net. You will find the website that'll tell you about the projects we're doing and where you can go to get them.
Great. Thank you so much, Marty. Appreciate you being here as always. Jill McKinley, last but not least, glad you are here and you joined us this week. Where can people find you?
Thank you. Well, all my stuff is at jillfromthenorthwoods.com. I'm working on a new website. I've moved all my hosts around, so it's right now a redirect, but it'll be fancy someday. And I can be found, you can email me, and I'm around on Twitter. And I have YouTube channels and podcasts all over the place, so that's how you can find me.
All right. Thanks so much. Appreciate it. Well, that's a wrap for this week. So please send your comments, questions, and suggestions to our email address, which is feedback@intouchwithios.com. You can follow us on Blue Sky and Mastodon at InTouchWithIOS. Support the show. Buy me a coffee at InTouchWithIOS.com/coffee. We'd really appreciate it. You can become a patron of the show by going to Patreon.com/InTouchWithIOS. We have 2 tiers available to support the show. We would really appreciate it. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe and be notified when we're live streaming, which is on Thursday nights, 8 p.m. Eastern Time, 5 p.m. Pacific. It was great to see Brian. It was great to see Witherbucket. A bunch of others in the chat. We had some great conversations live. You should join us when you can hang out with us here. And you'll be able to watch the live stream and replay of it and also listen to past shows. You can subscribe to the show on your favorite podcatcher, including Pocket Casts, Overcast, Apple Podcasts, with video put soon, and many others. But better yet, go to our website, InTouchWithIOS.com, where all the links, all the ways to listen to us are out there on that site. I am Dave Ginsburg, and you can find me here on In Touch with iOS in the YouTube channel, InTouchWithIOS.com. YouTube.com/InTouchWithIOS. You can also find me on Monday nights on Vision Profiles with Marty and Eric, Tuesday nights on Mac Voices Live, and Fridays on the Mac Show on the British Tech Network. And I'm on Blue Sky and Mastodon at DaveG65. And with that, thanks again for listening. Thanks for everybody for watching. And we'll be back next week. And until next time, we'll talk again soon.